You're going to have to love yourself so unapologetically and love yourself more than ever before to really, really muster in the energies of this year and to anchor in your blessings because we are taking off. This is a year of action, heart-based action. And again, it's the year of deciding. There's no going back. Peace and love, beautiful beings. This is Layla Wind, Chosen Goddess. Welcome to my channel, Let Go My Ego, where we talk about all topics that have to do with letting go of the ego and letting our heart and our soul lead the way. So I am really excited. It is 2026, y'all. Can y'all believe it? Unbelievable. Like 2025 blinked, and here we are in 2026. And even though it didn't feel like a blink for many of us, because as you all know, or if you don't know, it was a snake year and it was a year of shedding. So because of that, it was an intense year. It was a very intense year for a lot of us. But I think also it was a year that brought in a lot of our greatest blessings, because whenever we shed and we bring light to the things that need to be released, the things that need to be let go of, that is when we actually anchor in our blessings. That is when we actually realize who we are and what we're capable of and what we're made of, and that we truly are not only human beings, but we are divine beings, and we're also divinely guided, we're divinely protected, and we're divinely led. And there are no mistakes. Even though they may be, there are no mistakes. So please give grace, please give unconditional love for yourself and for others for last year, because it was very intense for a lot of us, but there was also a lot of abundant blessings that came out of that. So kudos to you. Shout out to all of you who survived 2025. And yes, we are in 2026. 2026 is the year you decide. That is what this video is all about. I actually have 11 ways to help you be firm and make it an affirmative decision in everything that your heart and soul desires. So, and to choose you, right? To decide on you, to decide that you are going to live an amazing, miraculous, spiritual, abundant, loving, fun life, and to give back to not only your life, to your others. Because when we thrive, you know, I feel like it is our duty as human beings to give back to the world, to help other people thrive in the ways that our unique gifts and our unique soul calling is tailored and anchored for us. So I'm really, really excited about this year. I'm so grateful. And I hope that you all are feeling grateful too. It's a blessing to be alive, and we are here. And again, thank you for tuning into this channel. Let's get into it. So I want to talk to you a little bit more about why I decided to do this video, especially starting off. It is a horse year. I'm most likely going to do another video about the year of the horse. As you all know, and if you don't know, last year was the year of the snake, hence the shedding I was talking about. And when we think about the year of the horse, that is the year of taking off. When you see a horse galloping, it is so free. It is doing what it wants to do. It has decided that it's going to take off and run with the wind and run, you know, through the wind and just be free to do whatever it is it wants to do in all of its majesty. Horses are such majestic, beautiful creatures, and they really represent freedom. They really represent, you know, being able to take off and to go for it, right? When we see the horses go for it, they just go. They don't think about it. They're being about it, right? So this year of the horse, the 2026, that is the reason why we are deciding who we are, deciding that I am going to live a great life, and making decisions, making steps, making a mindset shift, making an emotional shift, all of the above, so that way we can truly thrive. We've learned the lessons already, right? And also the thing about a 9-year is the closing of a 9-year cycle. So maybe you want to reflect on who you were the last 9 years and what you've been through and how far you've come and what you now want to experience in this new cycle, this so-called new beginning. It's really a continuous, it's part of the continuum, right? And so, yes, as we are stepping into this 1 year, because it's 2026, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 equals 10, and 1 plus 0 equals 1. So in numerology, that is all about initiation. That is all about new beginnings. That is all about being whole. And again, I'm going to do a separate video combining the year of the horse as well as the symbology of numerology of 2026. It's going to be really, really beautiful. But in this particular video, let's focus on the power and the energy of decision. And I first want to talk about, too, the difference between making a choice and deciding. Because when you make a choice, yeah, you're choosing between what you want to do, right? But when you make a decision, you are, again, it's affirmative. You are 10 toes down. You are grounded in that. You are more embodied in that. And you have more devotion when you decide. And also, this is also the year that we decide and override the subconscious mind, right? Because a lot of us think that for so long, and we have been so programmed, but there is so much willpower and flame within us, if you will. There is so much courage and self-mastery and so much just divinity within us that we can override the past. We can override the programming. We can override the trauma. A lot of us have deep subconscious and unconscious wounding and programming. All of us do, right? And even beyond the subconscious mind, we have, you won't even believe how much programming down to the DNA that we have that has kept us limited to a degree. But the beautiful thing is that once you know thyself and once you know who you are, you can override that. And that no longer will have a stronghold on you. So it's really, really, really powerful to move from choosing, because that's part of the process, to make a choice, but then decide. And then from that deciding, you will override. And also, as you see in the thumbnail, decision is precision. That is when you will hit your mark. That is where you'll hit your target. So I'm going to talk about 11 ways, because it's a 1 year. We're going to work with the energy of 11. 11 is the number in numerology of mastery, self-mastery. Also, people who are new to the spiritual journey and also new to their spiritual awakenings, and even people who have been on a spiritual awakening, one of the first numbers we typically see is 111 or 1111. So that all of that is an awakening. So we're going through a deeper, powerful awakening in this next 9-year, 10-year cycle before we move into the next 1 year, which will be 10 years from now in 2036, right? 36, maybe, yeah, 20, maybe not. I don't know. I can't keep up with the math, right? But whenever the next 1 year is, we're going to go through the 9 years and then we'll enter the next 1 year. So I'm really, really excited for this next decade and just to see how far we've all come, not only how much we've manifested, but who we have become. To me, that's what's the most important. Who we have remembered, because we've been dismembered in a sense, in terms of soul fragmentations, in terms of psychosis, losing our minds, losing our spirit. A lot of us have went through bouts of depression or full-blown depression, etc., etc. All of those things are going to be cleared for those of us who simply decide, and for those of us who will continue to do the deep, deep inner work and who can put their ego aside to self-correct unapologetically and simultaneously have unconditional love for yourself. So as usual, I have notes, so let's go ahead and look at them. I want to make sure I covered everything in this first synopsis, and I feel like I did. And I just also want to say that deciding, the energy of deciding, is going to take a lot of willpower. It's going to take a lot of heart-based energy and willpower. You're going to have to love yourself so unapologetically and love yourself more than ever before to really, really muster in the energies of this year and to anchor in your blessings, because we are taking off. This is a year of action, heart-based action. And again, it's the year of deciding. There's no going back. Like, honestly, how can you go back? Like, after all that we've been through in these last 9 years, I feel like this past 2025 was really like Spirit, God was putting its foot in the ground and say, no more of the BS, no more of the drama, no more of the fake friendships, no more of you being fake, whatever it is, right? That could be in your life. When I say people being fake, you could still, like I said, be a good person and be inauthentic. You can still be not true to yourself. That's a form of being fake by not following your intuition, right? Fake is a little more harsher word, but in a way that's what it is, right? We're not being true to ourselves. So those are ways we show up inauthentic. And I feel like this year really highlighted that for us, and where we have to be so true and so loving, always stay loving to ourselves. And sometimes being loving is those harsh truths. And sometimes being loving is making those tough decisions to say, you know what? This is not in alignment for me. This is not what I want to experience, whatever it is. Job, people, a thought, it could be you, the way you're living your life, etc., all of the above. So yes, it's going to take a lot of willpower, but it can be done. Thy will be done. That is something that people say who are typically religious, but when we talk about merge your will with divine will, that's what that means. Thy will be done. It will be done, and so it is, and that is that. So let's get into the 11 tips. I'm super excited. So the first tip, and be deciding this year that you are going to have a great year, and deciding that you are going to go for everything, all of your dreams, all of your heart and soul desires, is to decide that you are important and decide that you are worthy of living a miraculous, beautiful life. No matter what you've been through, no matter what you're going through right now, no matter what you've experienced, no matter how much you got, no matter how you look, no matter what it is, you are worthy of living a beautiful life. And in order to anchor in this innate truth, because no matter what's going on in your life, you're innately worthy, but you have to embody it through self-care, working on your mind, working on your body, working on your spirit, working on your emotional health, and continuously self-correcting yourself lovingly, checking yourself lovingly. And checking is not really the word I like, but I'm using it. It is what it is, but you know what I'm saying. Love yourself unconditionally and always have accountability with self. We all know where we need to make improvements, so stop lying to yourself. But it does not matter what improvements you have to make in your life. You know what matters is that you are innately worthy. And because you are innately worthy, no matter who you are, where you come from, what you got, all you need to do is decide and then work in the direction of embodying that innate worthiness, because you're already that, right? A lot of times we just forgot because of the lies of the world. We've been lied to. Again, we've been programmed. And so we're going to override that program by simply first deciding I am worthy and I am important to live a wonderful and miraculous and beautiful life. And I'm going to have the best, most loving people around me. And it is not a dream. It's not, and when I say it's not a dream, it's a dream in the sense like we dream, right? And the dreams can come true, but it's not something that's unrealistic. It's very realistic for you to have good people and a good quality life and a good career, and also more importantly, have that deeper spiritual connection with the divine. All of these things are not only possible, but they will and they can happen for you when you do the inner work. So yes, the first thing is decide that you are important and that you are worthy. And also know that this has a lot to do with the heart chakra, working on your heart, working on your self-love. We use self-love so loosely, but self-love doesn't just mean lying to yourself and just saying like, oh, I'm love, I'm this, I'm that. You are love, but how does that show up in your life? It has to show up in your life. It has to be something that's very tangible, something that is felt, something that is embodied through this. It's not about perfection, it's progression. So again, decide that you are important and you are worthy, because you are. You just have to make up your mind that you are, if that makes any sense. So the next one is to decide to have a sunrise ritual and a nighttime ritual every single day. And let me tell you why this is important. Because when we have a sunrise ritual, we're waking up and we're having a clean slate. we're in tune. Maybe you want to exercise, maybe you want to meditate, maybe you want to pray. Preferably you want to do it with no electronics. Waking up, being honest, checking your emails, doing Facebook first thing in the day, all of that stuff can be very draining. It can be very low vibrational. And a lot of times we're neglecting ourselves, we're neglecting our soul, we're neglecting our emotional needs because we're putting the world first. Put you first. The job can come later. And guess what? A lot of times these jobs don't even care about us. So if we can take the time, and I'm using job as an example, there's many examples, but you have to care about you. So if you start the day waking up, doing whatever it is that your heart and your soul calls you to do. Maybe it's just sitting in silence for 10 minutes. Like I said, maybe it's doing deep belly breaths. Maybe it's praying, and of course, exercising. I love to exercise, and I try to aim to exercise early in the day. And if I don't, guess what? I do it sometime throughout the day. I always have to, because I have to move my body. Whatever it is, have a sunrise ritual, and also have a nighttime ritual, because the way you start the day and the way you end the day has everything to do with how successful and how amazing your day is going to be and how peaceful your day is going to be. It really sets the stage for the day, and it also sets the stage for your sleep, so you can get adequate sleep, so you won't have insomnia, so you won't be going to bed carrying any negative energy of the day. So always have a sunrise ritual and a nighttime ritual. Please try to dedicate even just 15 minutes to yourself, to do whatever it is your heart and your soul and your body is calling you to do. So sunrise ritual and nighttime ritual, decide to do that every single day. So that's my second one. Third one is, this is a good one. Normalize giving yourself grace, unconditional love, and accountability. That is key. And I've been teaching this for years because this is something I had to learn and embody. Like, a lot of times when we think of unconditional love, people get that confused. They think that means like I can do anything, do whatever, and I'm just going to love myself through it. But it's not really, you're not being honest with yourself. We're not really loving ourselves if we're never taking accountability, and we're never making a change, and we're never doing the steps necessary to clear those negative behaviors in the underlying issues that are causing these negative behaviors. Negative behaviors meaning anything that is detrimental to yourself, anything that is hindering you from living a loving and a peaceful life. So it's really, really important that we are honest with ourselves, and we have accountability, and we have unconditional self-love. Both are what is needed in order to truly be embodied in self-love. Because if you're just going around saying, oh, I love myself because, for example, I work out, or I do my hair, I love myself because I exist. Okay, that's great. But how does that show up in your life? Or are you trying to be a better friend? Are you trying to be a better human being? Are you trying to be a better coworker, boss, or, which I don't like the word boss, but someone who's an entrepreneur, whatever it is, right? Just being a better person overall, right? Normalize having accountability, unconditional self-love, and a lot of grace for self. It is so, so important. Okay, I had to make some adjustments, but I'm back. The fourth one is to decide to always connect to your breath. Always, always, always connect to your breath, especially when times are feeling hard, when times are feeling a little dense, when you're feeling stressed out, you're feeling anxiety, you're feeling a lack of clarity, you're kind of discombobulated with self and your mind, your body, and spirit. Just take a moment and breathe. Again, this is something that I've learned and that I've also been teaching for years to my clients, to my friends, to everybody who needs it. Remember to always connect to the breath. The breath is a powerhouse for connecting you to the spirit, connecting you to the divine, connecting you to your soul. And it's also a powerhouse to connect you to your center, your heart, your Azara point, which is in your body, your heart chakra, right? It's also helping you to have that inner equilibrium. So always connect to the breath. And I'm called to, if you all want to, let's take a quick deep breath together on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. Let's inhale. And exhale. just see already how just one deep breath can already just raise your vibration. It can expand your consciousness. Already it's like you're returning to peace. So peace. So always connect to the breath whenever, and even not when you're feeling down, just as a part of life, connecting to your breath. And also I'm feeling called to let you all know to look into breath work. If you're not familiar with breath work, there is a science to breath work. For, science is starting to catch up and to understand, and they're able to measure and to actually see how it changes your brain waves, your brain patterns. So if you look more into breathwork practices and breathwork energetic practices, you'll be able to see exactly how powerful breathwork, also known as pranayama, is for you. So yes, always connect to the breath. It is going to center you, and it is such a simple, if you're doing basic breath work, but yet powerful way to raise your vibration and to return you to peace. So that is number 4. Yes. So moving on, decide you always have the power to choose how you want to feel, how you want to think, how you want to act, how you want to be. And this is so liberating, because when you get to realize, like, I have dominion over self. I am not just someone that's going through life in a reactive state. I know who I am, and I am going to be in my power. And when I say power, we're not talking about egoic power over others. We're talking about power over self. So really check yourself and to see, like, how much you can practice this profound truth is I get to decide how I want to feel. I don't care. Let's say, for example, if you got in a car accident, right? God forbid, but I'm just saying, life can happen. Life be happening. You never know. I've been in a couple of car accidents. Thank you to the divine that I am still alive. But let me tell you, when you go through those hard things, for example, like a car accident, and you make it out, first thing first, give thanks. And also have a perspective shift. You know what? For one, again, I'm alive. And what is the solution? If there's other people involved, of course, you want to check on them, make sure they're okay. And if somebody hits you, for example, right, you have a choice to react and say, and I understand, it could be very upsetting if somebody's driving reckless and then you end up, getting hurt because of somebody else's stupidity. But in ignorance and just carelessness, or whatever, or a mistake. But the thing is, though, you never know what people are going through or what happened. They could be having a medical emergency. So instead of reacting and cursing that person out and going crazy, are you all right? Is it okay? And then when you learn to think, you can slow down and say, okay, let me start recording so I have evidence, and making sure I get this person's information, and also making sure this person is okay. You start being able to move in a way where everyone can benefit. And also you can benefit, because in a way, for example, with the car accident scenario, it's like, it is what it is, it's done. So now we got to focus on solution. What's going to be the best solution for me? Am I okay first? Do I need to go to the hospital? Instead of focusing on cursing somebody out, you may be bleeding and don't even see it because your adrenaline is rushing and you're too busy trying to retaliate or give somebody a piece of your mind. And you're like, and then you realize, like, damn, I could be passing out any second because you weren't noticing yourself. You see, these are just examples on why it's so important to be aware of self and to take your power back and to be honest with yourself about, again, where you need to improve. In my whole life, I've been very reactionary, believe it or not. I can be very calm. And mind you, I'm not saying I always react. For the most part, I am very calm and collected, but there has been moments in my life where if I'm very hurt or whatever it is, that wounding comes to the surface and I lose it, right? But the thing about me is I always have that accountability, and it inspires me. That anger inspires me. That reaction inspires me to have control over self and to not take everything or anything personally at all. Not take anything personally. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't personally affect you. What it does mean is that I control self. And because I have dominion and control over self, I can make the best decisions now that are going to, again, be a win-win for all and truly benefit me and not cause more harm in the situation or cause more harm to others. So that is really powerful, is to decide that you have a choice and power over how you want to act, how you want to feel, how you want to think, and of course, most importantly, how you want to be. All of that's tied into the beingness. So really beautiful. The next one is decide to eliminate distractions that are not a priority in your life. We all know what distractions are. A big one that can get all of us is social media. I have done so much inner work to just really get off of there. And I'm not, mind you, I'm not against social media. I actually do like social media, but it is a huge distraction hub. I mean, I really feel like there's a science to it. The scrolling, of course, the algorithms, they know how to catch your attention. And next thing you know, 30 minutes later, an hour later has passed by when you could have been working on your book. You could have been working on your business. You could have been researching. You could have been working out. You could have been doing your meditation. You could have been hanging out with your children, right? You could have been doing whatever it is that is more soul fulfilling, right? And so it's really, really important that we continue to eliminate distractions. And the thing about eliminating distractions, what I found to be even more helpful is not so much eliminating distraction, but to focus on replacement. Because if I think about elimination, sometimes the covert wounded ego will feel like you're depriving it of something that it needs or it wants. But really, when we're eliminating distractions, what we should be doing is focusing on replacement. So for example, a distraction could even be eating unhealthy food, right? A lot of people have distracted themselves from binge eating or fast food or junk food or whatever. And a replacement would be, of course, the things that you love, like if it's Pizza Hut, right? Making a healthy pizza at home. Or if you feel like I don't have time, right? We always hear that excuse, I don't have time, right? But if we're honest and we look at our life, we'll say, actually, I do have plenty of time. I'm just not using my time in the best way. So how can I replace this? And that's why it will also take a lot of willpower to tap into this. But then you also have to, again, decide, like, do I want to feel good? And also tune in, how do these distractions make you feel? I can tell you firsthand, whenever I'm distracted, I immediately feel my energy being drained. It's like a headache comes in. It's like spirit, the divine, whatever, my oversoul, it comes in so quickly to say, you are out of alignment. I feel it. I'm so sensitive to being distracted. And I literally feel so drained. So I can't even stay, thank goodness. I'm like thanking God for being irritated or having a headache from a distraction, because it's showing me like, I can't stay here too long. I have to shift into something that not only do I need to do, but I want to do. And that's soul fulfilling. That's heart fulfilling. That's heart led. So it's really, really beautiful when you can be aware of yourself again and be honest with yourself and say, you know what? This is not serving me. This is not helping me in mind, body, spirit, and emotional health. Therefore, it is a distraction. It is not anything that has to do with getting me to my heart and soul's desires. So therefore, it is a distraction. So really be honest with yourself, tune in with yourself, and instead of practicing eliminating distractions, practice replacing distractions with more higher aligned, true priorities that are in alignment with your heart and soul. So I hope that helps. The next one is decide to get clear on your heart's desires and what you want to experience in life. So really knowing what your heart and soul's desires are. And one of the best ways to do this is just to simply meditate and to get clear, to clear space in your mind, to clear space in your life, to clear space in your home, to really tune into yourself. And if you're not really getting any clear answers or you're still not sure, I would say focus on where your interests are, where your interest lies. And then a lot of times that will kind of lead you to where you need to be. So yes, prioritize your heart and soul's desires above everything, and to know what it is, what exactly is it. And so yes, meditation helps, journaling helps, and being mindful, meaning like really being mindful is being mindless. When we say being mindful is more of like awareness of self, awareness of what's in your mind, and being mindful of the clarity. Be mindful of the clearing, so that way you can get that divine wisdom from your soul to know exactly what it is that you need to be doing and focusing on. So that is really something that we can all decide on, is to prioritize our heart and soul's desires and to really get clear on that. So the next one is really fun. Decide to prioritize your heart and soul's desires. Now that you got clear on what your heart and soul's desires are, prioritize your heart and soul's desires. And I'm also going to leave a link in the description of a video I did a while ago. Also, I'm going to leave a document called the 8 Daily Essentials, and the video is also entitled 8 Daily Essentials. These are 8 daily essentials that have been helping me tremendously to stay focused and to prioritize what matters. And these 8 daily essentials is something that all human beings can do because it literally is tailored to you. For example, one of the daily essentials is meditation, or spirituality, excuse me. Meditation is a primary form of spirituality. So yes, spirituality is a daily essential. Whatever way that is, that could be prayer, again, meditation, it could be the pranayama, the breath work we were talking about, whatever it is, spending time in nature. All of that is really intentional spiritual practices. And another daily essential is exercise and nourishment. Even if it's just 15 minutes a day, move your body, eat clean as best as you can, right? Again, don't focus on perfection. It should never trigger you for people to say to eat clean, right? We all know we're supposed to be eating clean. This food out here is garbage in the world. So I don't want to go on a tangent about that. That's a whole nother video of another day. But those are daily essentials so you can, again, be in your optimal state of being. So you can thrive. We can move from surviving to thriving in this life. And so 8 daily essentials will really help you to prioritize your heart and soul's desires. So again, the one before this was getting clear on your heart and soul's desires. Now you have to decide, I'm going to make it a priority. So once you make it a priority, wow, do you feel empowered? And that's why, honestly, I haven't had much time to be on social media and also to be on YouTube, because I've been really prioritizing what's going on in my personal life, which has been really liberating. But also YouTube and putting out these videos is a priority of mine, and I love to do it. I love to help people, and I love to share what's also been working for me. So yes, prioritize your heart and soul's desires. Super, super powerful, and you will feel so much better about yourself. This is so much tied to self-esteem as well. This is very much tied into self-esteem and self-worth, because people who truly feel worthy of themselves, you're going to create a life where you don't even have time for distractions. You know, create a life where you don't have time for distractions. And that is what I am in the process of really fully creating, even though I have created it, but more anchored in, if that makes any sense. And you're feeling unapologetic in it, you know. Honestly, time is going by so fast. We don't have time to waste on nonsense, okay? So yes, definitely prioritize your heart and soul's desires. So beautiful. The next one is, and oh, I forgot to say, also this is tied into, if you listen to one of my other videos, I forget what the name of the video was, but I was pulling cards, a collective reading. It was about getting out of your comfort zone. So this is all tied to risking it all, right? Risking it all. Because when you start to prioritize yourself, meaning not selfishness, I'm talking about self-love, right? When you prioritize yourself so you can have an overflow of love, abundance, health, etc., so you can truly pour from an overflowing cup and not an empty cup, that is the energy of risking it all. You're saying that I'm going to risk all this nonsense that has nothing to do with my overall well-being, and I'm going to now overflow into my beautiful, abundant life. So I can truly help others, right? Because it's about embodying. It's not about faking it till you make it. It's not about mimicking. It's not about pretending. It's not about performance, you know? And a lot of us, to some degree, have been in the performance. I know I have. And then sometimes we do this unintentionally. I know I've done it for sure unintentionally. I've never tried to act or be in a performance, but a lot of times it's very subconscious. But when we start being aware of self, we say, you know what, no more. I want to be real to myself, and I want to put myself first from a place of heart, mind, body, and soul. So that's really, really, really beautiful. And it's so, again, so liberating. And again, this is the year of the horse. It's the year of freedom. And when I think of freedom, it's not just about doing what you want to do. It's about feeling free from the inside out. It's about feeling like your soul is free, feeling like I'm free to be me. That is the real freedom. Freedom to, like, I don't give a dang what anybody has to say about me, unless you care about me, of course, right? We want to care about people, what they have to say about us, if they truly care about us. But I'm talking about, like, people judging you and whatever, but you know who you are. No, we're not doing that anymore. We know who we are. We're going to be who we are. We're going to show up when we're called to, and we're going to be free in that. So all of this is tied together. Risk it all. Risk it all, so that way you can make your heart and soul's desires a priority. The next one is, this is a good one. Surrender to the journey and stop obsessing over the destination. That has been another big lesson for me, is that I no longer care. Not when I say I no longer care. Yeah, I'm just not obsessing about where I want to be and where I want to go in life. I've accomplished a lot, and I still have a lot to accomplish. I've also learned a lot. I've also had a lot of so-called failures, right? So-called mistakes, right? But those are my greatest lessons. Those are my greatest opportunities to show myself and to connect more with the divine, so that I can truly make a difference in my life and no longer have to repeat the same lessons over and over and over again. And so it's really important that we learn to enjoy the present moment and to enjoy where we are. That is also a form of alchemy, if you will. That's a form of magic, if you will, is to learn to love the life that you have, to learn to live the life that you have. Also, I realized that when you truly have gratitude, you learn to love your life. People who say they have gratitude, but they don't really enjoy their life or they love their life, no matter what's going on, that's not really gratitude. Again, that's going back to, that's faking it till you make it. That's not being honest. That's not being true. That's not being embodied. It's not being authentic. So it's really, really, and when I say authentic, maybe it's authentic if you're saying, you know what, my life is effed up and that's how you really feel. I get that. But there are levels to authenticity. So when you want to go back to the true self, the highest self, the oversoul, the more divine connected self, that is when we move into, you know what, I may not be exactly where I want to be in my life. However, I'm going to enjoy every moment of it. And again, I'm not talking about pretending as if, you know, if something is bad in your life, to pretend like it doesn't exist. I don't believe in that either. But what I am saying is that it's so, so important to love yourself so unconditionally and to love life unconditionally. And when hard times come up, guess what? Solutions. Going to the divine, going to prayer, calling on help, getting the help you need, sitting with self, learning those lessons, etc., etc. So yes, learn to love life as it is in the now. Your life is perfect. I love that J. Cole song, or a rap song. There's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. There's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. If you've never heard that song, go look it up. It is completely amazing. That's actually the main part of the song I love. But yes, there is no such thing as a life that's better than yours, because this is your life. It's your life. How can someone have a better life than you when this is your life and you get to create it? It is all up to you. When I did a plant medicine ceremony a few years ago, the plant medicine told me it is all up to you, meaning that whatever you want to experience in life, you get to make it happen. Again, that Mariah Carey song, make it happen. So it's all up to you, make it happen, but learn to enjoy the journey. Because guess what? Even when you get to a certain destination or you have an accomplishment, guess what? There's going to be another destination to get to and another destination to get to. Not from a place of like, you have to prove yourself or anything like that. It's not about proving ourselves or more of like a rites of passage. It's not that. What it is just the journey of life, right? It's the soul's evolution. It's the soul's remembrance of its own divinity. Yes, so beautiful. So decide that you are going to enjoy your life and make the best of it, whatever it is now. And sometimes that means that you're going to have to, again, take a hard look at your life and see where you need to eliminate and replace, where you need to clear, where you need to shift, what you need to do, etc., etc. So just be honest with yourself and make the best out of what you have, okay? And we got a couple more, so I'm really, really excited. So the next one is to get out of your comfort zone slowly but surely. So it's really important to operate in one step at a time. So I'm looking at my notes, and yes, what I love about this is that when you move into the energy of one step at a time, you're starting to build your confidence, but you're not overwhelming yourself. So I would say daily get out of your comfort zone. But when I say get out of your comfort zone, again, it doesn't mean you have to go from being meek and quiet and mild to being on the world stage talking in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Baby steps. I'm going to keep saying this over and over. Baby steps, right? Because in a year, taking 365 days of baby steps, you're going to be a completely different person by the next year, completely. And you're going to be more confident. You're going to know more about who you are. And you're going to feel you can do anything, because you can do anything, but you need to feel that. You need to know that. Emphasis on the feeling, because when you feel that way, that's when it happens, right? And that's when it becomes like a no-brainer. That's when it becomes first nature, not even second nature, because it is first nature, because you know this is who you are, right? All of these things are helping you to go back to who you truly are, the original divine human being that is unapologetic from love, is unapologetic in its voice, in her voice, in his voice, and can do whatever it is, right? From the heart and soul, unapologetically, and will move mountains, right? We all have that capability. So never, ever, ever give up. You know, that is not even something I actually like to say, because that's not even that's not even a part of who I am, right? That's just how I'm wired. I don't even know what giving up is. That's just not an option for me. But getting out of your comfort zone daily, right? And baby steps, and just also so you don't overwhelm yourself. I know firsthand how life can be overwhelming and how life can feel really hard sometimes. And I understand how life can feel like, you know, like I don't have any room for anything else. I know how life can feel like, you know what? Life is so hard as it is. I'm just going to stick with the life I have. But there will always be something inside of you eating at you, calling out for you. Really, it's your soul. And we have to have integrity to the soul, right? If we want to feel liberated and really, truly feel good from the inside out. So when life feels like I can't make room for what I know I need to be doing, or I'm just going to stick with the mediocre life that I have. And when I say mediocre life, I'm talking about the life that you just know you're not happy with, right? Like, we got to be real with ourselves. If you know that, and you feel like there's no more room for getting out of your comfort zone, that's why it's so important to take the baby steps, because you're building that momentum, you're building that confidence, and you're learning to just surrender, right? You're learning to surrender to the process, and you're learning that it doesn't, again, going back to the previous one, it doesn't have to always happen overnight. Whatever it is, the destination, the goal, right? The success, learning to enjoy the journey without feeling, it goes back to even the nervous system, you know? If our nervous system is not used to abundance, in even love, I'm realizing so many people reject love because it's so unfamiliar to so many of us in this lifetime, in this human experience. And so really, really check in with self and be honest. Again, always go back to honest self-honesty and go out of your comfort zone step by step. An example would be like, if you know you need to exercise. These are simple examples. Maybe the first week, if you haven't exercised in a while, make it just 10 minutes. Then the next week, 15 minutes. All of those things build up, but at least you're getting out of your comfort zone, right? So really amazing. And let's move on to the very last one, which is powerful. So this is the 11th one. Snap out of it. Decide to snap out of it. This is great, right? Snapping out of it means that whenever I'm going into a doomsday mentality, when I'm overthinking about what I did or what this person did or what that person said or what happened 5 years ago, right? Or what happened in my childhood, right? Whatever it is that's going to drain your energy, whatever it is that's going to take you away from the present moment, whatever it is that's going to make you feel like crap about yourself, snap out of it. Boom, 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 snap. Maybe just do a quick snap, say, no, we're dropping from here to here. What's going to bring me joy? What's going to bring me pleasure? How can I remind myself that in this moment, just simply, I am worthy. I am important. I deserve to feel good. Snap out of it. Whatever it is, anything that's getting you in that mindset and that spiral of like misery and overthinking about nonsense and even creating stories and dwelling in the past or dwelling in the unforeseeable future or, creating a timeline that is a trajectory of doom, like I said, doom and gloom. No, thank you. Snap out of it and say, I'm coming back to the present. I'm coming back to love. I'm coming back to my breath. And I'm going to be here now. And I'm going to focus on what's going to bring me joy. What's going to bring me pleasure. So powerful. These sunflowers bring me pleasure. The sunflower spirit has been coming up a lot for me at the end of last year. And so it's been really helping me to focus on the light. So when we're snapping out of it, we're focusing now on the light. We're focusing on what's going to help us stand tall like the sunflower and what's going to help us focus on what is going to bring us, again, that joy, that pleasure, that peace, what's going to help us feel illuminated and bright. And so this is so, so powerful to just snap out of it. This is kind of like a tough love for yourself. Snap out of it. And I also want to be clear, when we say snap out of it, I'm not talking about not processing your emotions or not grieving if you need to grieve. Yes, go through the process of whatever needs to be processed, but then snap out of it. Sometimes it is a matter of like instantly I'm snapping out of it. And sometimes it's a matter of I need to go deeper into this low vibrational dense energy because I need to get to the nitty gritty of things. Because you don't want it to turn into spiritual bypassing. You want it to be where I'm, again, empowered. You're just empowering yourself and you're deciding to focus on what truly matters and to take your power back so you can live an abundant, beautiful, virtuous, happy, exciting life that you deserve, right? Connected fully and embodied with your divinity. So that is it. That is all. And not that that's it. This was powerful, right? 11 amazing ways you can decide and override your subconscious mind and your programming and your trauma in this life. And there's many other intricate, detailed ways, but this is just a beautiful way. It's a starting point, right? This is not something that's a one size all fits all. All of these things lead you into more powerful ways to really eliminate any type of implants, seals, programming, DNA tampering, disease, psychosis, depression, psychotic energy, whatever it is, schizophrenic energy, narcissistic energy, all of these different things that human beings go through. All of these, what I just gave you to decide, will help you to override this. And also what I realize is that we will be led to deeper spiritual practices. We will be led to even more higher aligned people that will help us on our journey, right? So then we can help other people on their journey, right? It's a beautiful domino effect. So happy 2026, you all. Happy New Year. Even though the new year is really in the spring, this is still a collective new year. And it's going to be beautiful as long as we decide, right? Decide you are worthy. That's the first step. Decide you are important. And then I also recommend going back to this video as much as you want, unapologetically, taking notes. Anytime you need a quick pick-me-up, all of these different 11 suggestions will help you to decide, you know what, this is my year. This is our year, right? We're calling that in. It is what it is. And it's here. So I'm sending so much love to you all. Again, my name is Layla Wind, Chosen Goddess. If you love this video or you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. Please leave a comment if this resonated with you, which I'm sure it did. And I'm sending you all so much love, so much abundance, so much peace, so much happiness on this beautiful 2026 year of the horse. All right. Namaste.